Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So, how is everybody doing today? Today, we are going to talk about optimizing content for conversions. And you definitely do want to do that because you do want the conversions. But before I go any further, I just wanted to introduce myself. In case you don't know me, I'm Lisa Balthaser. I'm a business coach and consultant, and also a marketing automation expert. And I work with female coaches over 40 who who have plateaued and want to reach six figures and beyond in 6 to 12 months using a recurring revenue model. Because hey, who doesn't want recurring revenue, right? So today we are talking about optimizing content for conversions. Let me just put that in there. Okay, here we go. So the first things I want to talk about is why you want to optimize your content for conversions. And I think it's pretty obvious. The whole point of doing content marketing is to get conversions. And when you get conversions, you get revenue. Okay, so that's really the whole point. Not everybody is good at it. Some people are fantastic at it. So we're going to talk about that today. So first, I want to talk about what we mean by conversions. So people think of conversions as only sales, and that's not so. Okay, so conversions can be any goal that you give to your content, such as you could invite people to your Facebook group. You could invite people to download a freebie. You could invite people to a call. You can invite people to buy things. There are so many types of conversions. You can ask them to sign up for a webinar or a master class. Okay, so a conversion is really an action that you are asking your audience to take. And all of your content should drive traffic to some type of conversion. Okay. Now, you may be saying, oh, well, that's like asking a lot. That's like selling a lot. But it doesn't need to be, okay? Because some of your posts are going to be educational, where you're educating them on maybe why they need to do it a certain way. And then you're going to just extend an invitation. It's not super salesy. It's not super icky. It's just serving your client, serving your audience, okay? And it's just really asking them to take an action so that you can help them to be better at what it is that they do. So the first thing you need to do with any piece of content is to define the goal of that piece of content. So, for instance, I'm going to talk about blogs first. For instance, you have a blog and you're sharing it to social media. So I think blogs are kind of twofold goals. Okay. So the first goal when you're sharing that blog to social media is that you want people to read the blog, obviously. So you want people to click through to actually go to your website to read the blog. Okay. When they get to the blog is its own. Okay, so your social media post promoting the blog is a piece of content. And this is what I want you guys to understand. So your social media post promoting the blog is a piece of content. Your blog is the second piece of content that your audience will come into contact with. That blog should also have its own call to action. Okay. Should have its own goal. So say you're promoting a program and you are talking about something related to that program in the blog post. Your goal of that blog post may be to encourage people to sign up for that program or that course or whatever it is that you just created that has to do with that goal. Okay, so maybe you're directing them there, so you're going to have it linked somewhere in that blog post where it makes sense. Okay, and then you may want to allude to it in what you write in the blog, but you also want to have a button. Okay, you want to have a button that's really obvious. Click here to do this. Okay, so your and that button it's the call to action. Okay, so you want to set specific goals for each piece of content. Okay, so that first piece, the goal was to get them to the blog post. The blog post, the second piece of content, okay, the goal on that may be to get them to a masterclass, or it may be to download your freebie, or it may be to send them to a low-cost mini course. Okay, so that blog is going to have its own goal. Okay, so all your content should have goals, and those goals should be specific and they should be measurable. So when you're thinking about that piece of content, so when people go to your blog post, you should be able to see how many people clicked through to that action you asked them to take. Okay, and there may be more than one place. So if you're talking about something and you make a clickable link in the text, that could be a place that they click. But you also want to have a button, okay? And you want those both to be measurable. So one of the things that you do need to pay attention to with your content is the audience behavior. So you need to really analyze that and look at what is going on. Okay, so when you post about certain things, how is your audience reacting, or are they reacting? Because if they're not reacting, it's probably something that they don't want to hear about. Okay, so you need to always be analyzing your content and trying to understand, get a deeper understanding of that audience so that you can produce more content that is relevant to what they are looking for. Okay, it doesn't have anything to do with your programs. It has to do with the way you drive your audience to your programs. Is you talk about what they are interested in, not what you help them with. Okay, when they get there, it's when you actually have to market and make them understand how the two are related and why it's relevant. Okay, so analyze your audience behavior, see what's going on with them, see what they're interested in, and then you want to also track the behavior. So you want to use on social media, you want to check your insights. Now, personally, I check certain insights every single day. And that is to see where I'm at. I check my group analytics every day. I check my page analytics every day. And because I'm on a professional profile on Facebook, I actually check those insights every day also to see how the posts are doing, to see how many people they reach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, because you do want to know these things. Because if there's a significant change, you want to understand why that is happening. And you want to really take a look at that. So you do want to know what's going on. You don't have to necessarily record them. I actually record them, but you don't have to necessarily record them. But you do need to actually look at them and see if there is a significant change and what may be driving that change. Okay, it's really important to pay attention to those things because it's going to help you create the better content that they're going to want to interact with. You can also use for your website. Sometimes if you have a WordPress site, you might have Jetpack, you might have something that analyzes your people, where they came from, what they clicked on. On your website, you also want to make sure that you are using Google Analytics on your website and tracking your behavior, seeing where people are coming in from, because that's really important. You should know where your website traffic is coming from, because when you understand how people are finding you, okay, when you understand how people are finding you, you can, number one, drive more traffic through that source. And number two, you know where you need to improve. Okay. So it's really important to understand those things also. So the analytics, insights, that is all super important. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is actually how to craft that compelling call to action. How do you actually get them to act on that call to action? Well, as we all know, it's not always easy. Okay. We've all put content out there and we've asked people to take an action and they don't take that action. We've all done it. It's happened to everybody, even the best marketers out there. Things don't always work as planned. Marketing is all about testing. And if you don't get it just right, okay, if you don't get it just right, it may not work the way you had planned. And that's okay. That's why you're analyzing it. That's why you're tweaking. That's why you may be testing things. So, creating that, the role of the call to action is to actually get them to take that action, whatever it happens to be. Okay, it could be to schedule a call with you, it could be to join your Facebook group. So, all actions are not equal, and all calls to action do not equal sales. Okay, a call to action is simply you asking your audience to take a specific action that is defined in the content. Okay, so when you're creating a persuasive and effective call to action, it has to align with the content that you are presenting. So um, you don't want to, talk about some off the wall topic and then say, hey, come join my Facebook group. No, you don't want to do that. So if you want to drive people to your Facebook group, you should be talking about something that you would talk about in the Facebook group that is compelling to your audience. And then the request could go something like, but it doesn't have to look like this. If you want more content like this, come over to my Facebook group because this is where I give even better content on this topic, and you may want to include some other topics that you talk about. Okay, so that persuasive and effective call to action is going to be directly related to the content piece that you put out there. So if you are, for instance, an educational post, okay? So people think of an educational post sometimes as educating them on something that they help them with, and it can be. But an educational post can also be a post that actually talks about why it's important for them to do whatever it is, that thing that you help them with. Okay. It's educating them on the why. Okay. It's educating them on why they would have a need for you. Okay. And it's not specifically going to be you. You're going to be talking about it in relationship to their perspective. Okay. This is why you want to do this because this, and this, it affects this, and this is what could happen. So that is a form of educational post that actually will help to direct your audience to your programs or your courses or how it is that you help them, because you're educating them on why they actually need it, because they may not understand why they need that specific thing. Okay. So crafting that persuasive and effective call to action really means tying whatever that content is to the action that you are asking them to take. Okay. And I know that probably makes sense to you, but you'd be surprised at some of the calls to actions that I have seen over the years that don't necessarily relate to the content that was put out to the world. So you really want to make sure it all goes together and aligns very well. The next thing that I want to talk about with content is if you are asking them to say, go to a masterclass or download something or something like that requires a landing page. Okay, you want to make sure that you have a high converting landing page, and how you create that. And this is a really loose definition here, guys, but how you're going to create that high converting landing page is you are going to reinforce all of the things that you have already told them. Okay, you're going to reinforce, but you're going to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so maybe on the landing page, you'll have a before and after. This is what you're experiencing before, and this is what you're experiencing after. I mean, that could also be a Facebook post. Okay, but you want to really go a little bit deeper. So when they go to that landing page, if they're not 100% convinced already, okay, because your content should have done a good job in educating them as to why they need that thing, whether it's a freebie or paid program. Your other content drove them to click. Okay, so it was effective in doing what it was supposed to do. Now, the landing page's job is to get them to take that action, to solidify it and take that action. So, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are reinforcing the key points and making sure that you are tying it all together for them, showing them the possibilities. Okay, you really want to show them the possibilities. Excuse me, 1 second. When I am talking, I get so dry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the landing page is an important piece. The design should be a good design. It should be attractive. It should be consistent with your branding. The layout and the copy should be super high quality copy, because remember, it's solidifying and driving them to actually finally take that action. Okay. The layout, let's talk about the layout just a moment here. The layout of the landing page should be such that the form or the button or whatever it is that you have on your landing page should be above the fold. And above the fold simply means that when they pull that landing page up, it is in the screen. They don't have to scroll for it. Okay. It's very, very, very important for it to be above the fold. And when it's above the fold, and if you have a longer landing page with more content on it, and here's the thing with landing pages, if you have a freebie, you may not have much on your landing page. You may not have much at all. Okay, you may just have the form and a little bit of supporting content on there, and maybe a little bit about you. So I have some landing pages like that. I have other landing pages that go into some of the benefits and goes a little bit deeper. So the content on the landing page is really going to be determined by what it is that you are you want them to take the action on. So if it is a high-end program, okay, your landing page might be really long, okay, because you want to reinforce in their minds all the reasons why they absolutely want to sign up for your course or your program. Okay, if you have a lower ticket piece of content that you're asking them to buy, maybe you'll have a medium sized page. And most of my pages are medium size. I do have one or two that are a little bit longer. But most of mine are medium size. And that's where you're asking them to take the action. You're giving them supporting content on there. You are maybe showing them a before and after. You are showing them 1, 2, 3 testimonials. You're maybe doing a case study. Okay. Those longer pages can get really in depth. And you may have a lot of testimonials on those longer pages. And in addition to, you may have in-depth case studies. You may have testimonials that are video testimonials as well as written ones. So those longer pages, they're sometimes necessary to make a higher ticket sale. And that's when you should use those. But for like a lower ticket or a free content, it's really not that necessary. You can put a little bit of extra work into it to get better results. Absolutely. Because anything that's reinforcing their decision is good. But it's not necessarily to have those real super long landing pages for, say, a freebie. It's just not. There's no reason to have that. So I want to drive that home. But a high converting landing page is going to hit on the key points, and it's going to reinforce their decision. It's going to pat them on the back and say, hey, this is the right decision for you. Not in those words, of course, but it's going to really let them know they are making the right decision. It's going to reinforce their thought process about it. And it's going to give them some supporting content that maybe they didn't think about before that will get them over the finish line. Okay. So that's a little bit about landing pages. I just want to talk a little bit about A/B testing. I was talking about the content and the calls to action. You can test calls to action. You can test content. The concept of A/B testing is to really find out what your audience likes and what will actually convert. Okay. And it's really throwing two or three things out there to see which one works best. And then once you figure that piece out, rolling with the one that actually is working, or the one that works the best. Okay, that's really what A/B testing is all about. Usually it's two. I've seen people test more than two, but usually it's two. And it could be a call to action. It could be content. It could be a photo. Okay, because photos, different photos will lead people to make a decision, believe it or not. So, the other thing that I want to talk about is streamlining the conversion funnel. So once they're in there, once they've downloaded your thing, once they joined your Facebook group, what happens? Okay. It has to be streamlined. There has to be a process for it. Okay. If you don't have a process and it's kind of haphazard and all over the place, it's going to make your life very challenging to keep up with what's going on. You have to have a systematized process going on for each step of the process. And once you have that in place, okay, you will know exactly what needs to happen at each stage. And your clients or your potential clients won't be hanging out there wondering what is going on. Okay, because there's going to be a way that you are leading them through to the finish line. Okay. So that absolutely has to take place. And you have to look at each stage of that process. So, okay, for instance, and by stage, here's what I mean by that. When you have somebody that, say, downloads your freebie, okay, they downloaded that freebie because they were at a certain stage. And that's what they needed. That's what they were looking for. Okay. So you, as the entrepreneur, need to think about, okay, so now that we've resolved that, what do they need next? What happens next? What's the next stage? Okay. And then when you follow up, your follow-up is going to be related to that next stage. So you're leading them through your customer life cycle, like I just had the workshop on. You're going to lead them through that customer life cycle, and you're going to lead them through and they will understand, because it's the next thing that happens. So you need to get in their mind and understand what happens next. Okay, what happens next for them? What is their train of thought? What are they thinking? What are they experiencing in that moment? When you know those things, those are the things you're going to address in your marketing. Okay, that's that next piece. Okay, and that must happen with each stage of the customer life cycle. So once they download your freebie and they get the results from that, then what? Okay, and then when you help them, maybe they do a mini course or like a low cost course, and you solve that problem, or you talked about that problem, then what? Then what might they be experiencing at that point? And you lead them on this path to understanding that all of these things don't solve all of the problems. So working with you makes the most sense. Okay. And that's usually the case, because all the freebies, all the courses, all the low cost things out there will not solve all of your marketing problems. if you work with a marketing or sales coach, if you work with somebody that does funnels, or you work with somebody that has expertise in that area, your chances of reaching the finish line with your clients is so much higher. And it's because you have things addressed that you may not know about. If you're not a marketer and you help people with fitness or health and wellness, okay, and you're doing these marketing things that you hear people say to do, what you're not getting from that is the why, is the what it's supposed to drive to, or what's supposed to happen next. You're not getting all of those things. And working with a professional will help you to get to that next thing. So we are talking about optimizing your content. I did forget to put that up there, but it is up there now. And we're talking about streamlining in each of the stages. So the next thing that I want to talk about with your content, and this goes with website content, landing page content, social media, really any content that you're putting out to the world. And you must in some way provide social proof and trust. Okay. And when you provide social proof, meaning testimonials, meaning things people have said, results people have gotten by working with you, case studies, things like that. Okay. When you are providing those proof elements, okay, you are building credibility with your audience. You are making them see, okay, well, these people got these results. So, hey, maybe I can get those results too. Okay. But you need to show them that you can get those results. If you are new, okay, if you are new, my suggestion is that I think it's always best to have some kind of testimonial. So I don't think, I'm not all for giving away free content for sure, because you are in business, you need to get paid. However, it's going to be hard to get paid if you don't have any testimonials. So my suggestion is you offer maybe 2 spots for somebody to do a certain thing in exchange for a testimonial. Okay, because you need that social proof. So how you get that social proof, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you worked with that person and you got those results, or they were happy with you. They got amazing results from working with you, and you want them to talk about it. So yeah, that's the important thing. So however you need to get that, don't pay somebody to write a testimonial. That is not ethical. Okay. But if you want to work with somebody for free or in exchange for a testimonial, I think that's a good swap, because that testimonial that they give you, you can use it on your landing pages. You can use it on your social media. You can use it on your website. Okay. That testimonial, and if you have them put it somewhere like LinkedIn, or Facebook, you also have it directly in that social media. So that testimonial can go a long way in helping you to build your business. So I think that's a fair exchange. So that's what I have to say about trust. I do want to talk about mobile optimization. In today's world, more than 50% of the people are on mobile. Okay, I am not, but it's harder for me to do what I do on mobile. So I am on my laptop, but most people are on mobile. They look at content on mobile. And you need to make sure that your content is mobile friendly. So, if it's your website, you need to make sure you have a mobile friendly website. If it's a landing page, it has to be a mobile friendly landing page. What you don't want is for somebody to come into your website or your landing page, and when they pull it up on mobile, it's like this big. They can't read it. You don't want that to happen, because that is lost potential customers. You don't want that to happen. It's really, really important. And I know in the past, when they converted over to mostly mobile, and they made some of the changes in Google, most people did comply and went to mobile, but there's still websites out there that I pulled up that are not mobile friendly. And it blows my mind, because they have to be losing sales, because When you pull them up on a phone, you can't read it. Okay, it must be legible on mobile, and it must have the buttons in the right place and not look all crazy. So most websites today are mobile friendly and mobile optimized, but not all of them. So make sure yours is. It's super important. So one of the things in your marketing, and this, I talked about this in the sales funnel workshop last week. One of the things with your content is personalizing your content. This can go such a long way. And also segmentation. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that for just a moment, because I think this is one very important piece that a lot of people miss. Give me 1 second. I am seriously so dry when I'm talking on these. So sorry about that. So personalization and segmentation. So you have this broader audience, okay? But some of them may have come from a freebie. Some of them came from, they saw you post something on social media. Some of them came from, say, a webinar that you did or a masterclass that you did. So when you know how those people came to you, okay, you know already one thing that they are interested in, okay? So you can keep them in a segmented group. So for that, I use tags in my email marketing. So it can be a tag, and that specific tag then will get a certain series of emails that are related to that topic. Okay, because you already know that they're interested in that. Okay. So, and personalization is kind of going to work the same way. So that personalization can be using their name. Okay, so you want to make sure you get enough information to actually address your audience properly. People like to see their name. I know I have gotten emails where they must not have asked for my first name, but yet when they write the emails out, they use the first name feature in their email marketing. So it says, hello, customer first name, and that's the email that you get. So when you're gathering the data, is really what it is, you make sure you're getting the right data. Okay, make sure you are getting at least their first name with the email. I know it's very easy just to put an email out there, especially for a freebie, but here's the thing. Then when you send them future email, if you use that first name feature, it's going to be blank. It's going to say, hello, customer first name. And that looks sloppy. So make sure you are at least getting your first name on everything that you do. I get first and last name because the first name doesn't tell me actually who they are. If somebody comes into my system named Lisa, it could be Lisa anybody, or Dennis, or Steve, or whatever. My point is, get the data that is necessary for you. For me, I want to know who they are so I can look them up, see what they're all about, see how I can help them. I really think it's a good idea to get their phone number. In today's market, there's text marketing, SMS marketing. So you really do want to get that at some point. But if you have a freebie that you're putting out, they may not be willing to give a phone number for a freebie. So be cognizant of that. Okay. You want to make sure that, you know, what you're asking for coincides with what they're getting. Okay. So, so segmenting the audience and personalizing the content, so that segmentation and personalization kind of go hand in hand. You may be segmenting a market, your audience based on how they came to you, but when you personalize content, it could be based on interest. So maybe you're going to talk about a way that you handled something when a specific something happened, because you know that the majority of your audience had this experience. Okay. and then you're going to talk about how you resolve that thing. Okay, so that's personalizing the content to a specific situation. It can also be personalized to hobbies, to other characteristics, to demographics, to where they live. It could be anything depending on your industry, but it's really you really have to look at your industry and see what makes sense. Okay. So when you do that, you are speaking more directly to that exact person instead of a general audience. So it lands better. Okay. Your content lands better. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today is tracking and measuring. And we actually did talk about that a little bit, but I do want to talk about it again because tracking and measuring your results is so super important. So say you have a landing page and you're getting a lot of people that are going to the landing page, but they're not signing up. What does that mean? Okay. It could mean nothing. It could be your perception of a lot. Okay. So depending on the industry that you're in, you may get 100 people click through before you get one sign up. You want to look at those results, and you want to make sure that you are tweaking what is out there to get better results. You could tweak it though, and you get worse results. So you want to really pay attention. That's why the A/B testing is kind of important, because it lets you know right away what's going to work and what's not going to work. Okay. But you want to measure and track, and then you want to make it better. So if you're getting a lot of people to go to the landing page, but you're maybe getting no signups or very, very few for the number of people that are going there, maybe you want to take a look at your landing page. Okay. So that's where you are using that tracking and measuring to figure out where the breakdown is. If, on the other hand, okay, you are not getting people to even go to the landing page, okay, they're not even clicking through to go there, then it's your content that's getting them there. So you need to really look at what's going on and not just throw things out there to the world and say, oh, it's not working. You need to look at it and figure out what's working, what's not working, and fix it. Okay, test it. So that is really everything that I have about improving your content. There are ways that absolutely you can use your content to attract the right audience and more qualified buyers. Okay, because the content should really be sending you qualified buyers. They may not buy now, but they are your buyers. Okay, that content should be driving them to buy with you eventually. It might be a year from now, but here's the thing. The content that you put out to the world is what is going to determine who is in your circle of influence. Okay. So be very cognizant of making sure that it is really aligned with everything that you're doing and helping them with in your business. And when it is, okay, you're going to attract the right people to you. They may not buy right away, but they're going to like your content. They're going to follow your content. They're going to get to know, like, and trust you. For some people, that takes a long time, and for some people, not as long. Okay, so just be conscientious of that. But what you're doing in the meantime is you're leading them on that customer journey with you. You're giving them value along the way. You're showing them why, all the reasons why they need to work with you. And you're bringing them to a point of making a decision to work with you. Okay. There should be no selling. Your content actually does have the ability to do the selling for you if the content is really high quality. You shouldn't have to beg. You shouldn't have to chase customers. Those potential buyers should be coming to you because you're providing what they need. Okay. Now, I know on social media, there's the other issue about being seen and visibility. There is, a real issue in the feed with getting visibility, but that's a whole nother thing. If you are putting it in the right places, if you are making sure that the right people are seeing your content, they will want to be in your circle of influence. They will want to know what you say, and it will lead them to buy from you. Okay. So that is really, in a nutshell, what I have about optimizing your content for conversions. There's a lot of pieces that go with it, because not only is it the content itself, but it's the journey you're taking them on with the content. Okay. So it involves the landing page. It involves your website. Content is a lot of things. Okay. But there's absolutely a way to do it that makes sense, that is not salesy and pitchy, and really, really leads them to working with you. Okay. Or at least getting on a call and having the conversation. Okay. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this helped. I hope you can see by tagging them on that journey with your content, using the content as that piece that leads them, with the things that they need from you in that stage where they're at. I hope you can see how that can actually really work to tie it all together for them. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Some of this was covered in the life cycle automation workshop last week. A lot of it was not covered. And I know this was only a 40-minute video today, so it's not very long, but it does walk you through all the stages that you really need to be considering with your content marketing, so that you can drive more sales with your content and get more conversions. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, share it out, tell a friend. And I would appreciate that. So, but if you need anything else, what I want to do is, I also want to put down here, I want to talk about this just for a moment, not that one, just for a moment before I get off of here. I do have growth with AI, accelerate your business growth with AI in this program. We are doing all of those things that I just talked about. Okay. All of them. And in this program, okay, we are creating your lead magnets. We are creating your big program. Okay, I'm helping you create that recurring revenue program that's going to bring in consistent revenue. I'm helping you to create the social media content, the website content, the email content in this program. Okay, so that's part of this program. So content is kind of one of those deer in the headlights things where you really, it seems like a lot. This program is perfect for you because I'm showing you how it's not that hard, how you can create it quickly and get really good results with it. We're getting really good results in this program. I know I personally have been getting very good results with the processes that I've been using, and I can show you how to get those results also. So do consider this program if you struggle with content in any way. This program is, while it's not only about content, I do help you with content in here, as well as, the launching and the systems and, getting all the things in place to actually grow and scale your business, alongside the accountability piece to actually do the work. Okay. I have that component built into this program. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. I hope you check out the program. If you have any questions about content marketing, let me know. For the longest time, I considered myself a content marketer. I mean, I was actually so much more than that, but I was very good at driving that traffic with the content. So definitely let's talk if you struggle there, and let's get this working for you. Okay. And that is what I have for you guys today. This is Lisa Balthaser with Fleur de Lisa Solutions. You have an awesome day.